Goku Black. Goku Black, also known as Zamasu, though usually referred to as Black, is an alternate incarnation of Zamasu and a former North Kai and Supreme Kai apprentice serving his former master Gowasu from the unaltered main timeline within Universe 10. He serves as the main antagonist of the future Trunks saga of Dragon Ball Super. Black visited Universe 6, went to the Super Dragon Balls from the unaltered main timeline within that universe, summoned Super Shenron from said timeline, wished to switch bodies with Goku from the unaltered main timeline within Universe 7, and Super Shenron granted Goku Black's wish. Goku Black sought to destroy all mortals alongside future Zamasu, an alternate counterpart of him. When he arrived to future Trunks' timeline, he initially referred to himself as Goku. However, due to the notable style and color difference between Black and Goku's clothings, he was given the name Goku Black by future Bulma and thus took the name even when he revealed his own identity. Personality. Zamasu had thus far proven to be quite the ruthless individual, killing Bulma and Mai without hesitation. Curiously, Black appeared to have a preoccupation with scions, as he sought to extinguish their race and refers to them, not by their given names, but simply with a derogatory scion. Unlike Son Goku, his lookalike, Black had no regard for human life and believed that the death he brings them is a blessing. Additionally, Black saw the human race as the gods' only failure, considered his extermination of them justice, and aspired to make a more perfect world. During his brief time in the past, Black showed excitement at facing stronger opponents, a trait that Goku notes to be just like him. Showing he truly inherited Goku's love of a challenge, he finds the lack of any challenging opponents to be boring. This was best shown when he said Trunks fleeing the timeline, leaving no one strong to oppose him, made things boring in the wake of his deicide of the gods. Despite his ruthlessness, Black did display some manner of formality, as he addressed Beerus as Beerus-sama, by Rusu-sama, a polite honorific. He also formally greeted Goku when they first meet, and referred to fighting him as an honor. After his battle with Goku, Black gained a notable fixation on learning more about the Scion, in an effort to gain more power. This is not present in the manga, where Black had no real personal connection to Goku, and was more annoyed by the Scion, rather than retaining his respect and admiration that he had from the anime. Befitting his attitude, Black used very formal speech patterns, and uses the pronoun watashi when referring to himself, which is gender neutral and but only goes to indicate his formal nature. However, while transformed into Super Saiyan Rose, Black notably switches from watashi to or, a more masculine, casual pronoun which can be used to sound arrogant. Notably, this is also Son Goku's personal pronoun. Black has also shown a fixation on beauty, considering the utter removal of humans as making the universe into a beautiful paradise. Furthermore, he sees his Super Saiyan Rose form as the height of beauty, valuing the form for both its power and its illustrious appearance. An additional quirk, most likely inherited from Goku's body, was a comparison of fighting to food. Black has referred to Vegeta, Son Goku, and Trunks as the opening dish, main course, and dessert, respectively. Many of Black's traits in the anime differ in the manga, down to his mannerisms and fighting style. Contrasting his polite demeanor in the anime, in the manga, Black leans more towards the side of shouting, and tends to lose his temper and control once things do not go his way. Furthermore, unlike in the anime, where Black enjoys the pain he endures in battle as it makes him stronger, Black shows no such sadomasochism in the manga, though pain still provides the same effect. In both incarnations, manga and anime, Black has shown a fixation on power. It was his desire to become stronger that led him to take Goku's body, and in the manga, this was referred to by the future Zamasu as exchanging his godly abilities for power. He also underestimated Vegeta in the manga, believing that a lower-grade Super Saiyan form could not surpass his Rose. Appearance. In his original body, Zamasu was a green-skinned Shinling with white hair, and he wore standard purple and black robes that other Kaioshin wear. After obtaining Goku's body, Black gained a sharp physical resemblance to Son Goku. This included his Scion jet black hair. Due to possessing Goku's body, he also possesses the scar the Scion gained when he fell as a child. The notable difference resided in his facial expressions being more malicious, and his apparel's color scheme differs. Unlike Son Goku, Black wore gi in various dark shades, consisting of a gray overshirt, a black undershirt, gray bottoms, though his boots were white. He also wore a red obi sash. His accessories consisted of a single green patera on his left ear, and a silver time ring on his right hand. Background. Zamasu was originally the North Kao of the 10th universe. However, due to his prodigious fighting skill, he was selected to become one of its Kaioshin, and served as a Kaioshin in training. He was originally a version of Zamasu from the alternative present timeline. Due to the powers of the time ring, the death of the other present Zamasu under Beerus' hand did not affect him. By killing Gowasu, he became a Kaioshin and took the time rings for himself. At some point, Zamasu collected the Super Dragon Balls, and wished to switch bodies with the Son Goku of his timeline, thus merging his soul with the Saiyan body. Upon his wish being granted, he killed Goku, followed by his wife and youngest son, and took the name of Son Goku for himself. To put the Zero Mortals plan into action, he traveled to the Trunks' future where he found the future version of himself. Killing the Gowasu of that timeline, he teamed up with the future Zamasu, initiating his future self into his plan. The two later collected the Super Dragon Balls to wish the future Zamasu immortal and used the time ring to jump forward 1 year in the future and had the balls destroyed themselves so that they could never be restored. Prior to arriving on Earth, along with his partner, he has already wiped out several planets and their inhabitants in the name of justice, as well as killing all Kaishin throughout the universes, to subsequently eliminate all Hakaishin. Using his time ring, he could travel between parallel worlds at will. At the time Kaishin succumbed to his injuries against Babiti's forces and died, Zamasu appeared and maliciously chuckled now that timeline's Hakaishin was deceased. Sometime later, he started destroying humanity on Earth. Due to his attire and his resemblance to Goku, Bulma decided to nickname him Goku Black. His rampage brought Earthlings to near extinction. In his first encounter with Trunks, Black deliberately spared the Saiyan in the hopes that he would grow stronger. From that point, Trunks fought him for 1 year, but to no avail. After causing destruction, Zamasu began to sense Trunks' ki, and he then pursued him. After he found Trunks, Zamasu blasted several ki blasts at Trunks and managed to hit him while Trunks was attempting to get away. Zamasu declared that it was over for Trunks, but Mai saved him by throwing a flashbang at Zamasu, and both Trunks and Mai quickly escaped. After regaining his vision, Zamasu stated that Trunks, the last of the Saiyans, could not run forever. Dragon Ball Super, Future Trunks Arc. Black appeared in the destroyed Western capital, having developed the ability to sense Trunks' ki. He attacks the young half-Saiyan and his mother, killing the older woman and destroying her lab in the process, while Trunks barely makes an escape. Keen on pursuing Trunks, Black engages him in battle at the remnants of Capsule Corporation, and attacks Mai, gravely injuring the woman. Descending from the smoke, Black revealed his form to be identical to the hero, Son Goku, and tells Trunks that the day for him to die has finally arrived. Black taunts Trunks, goading him into attacking, which turned out to be a successful tactic. The young half-Saiyan transformed into his Super Saiyan state and rushed Black, managing to land an impressive blow in the process. Black counterattacks and quickly overwhelms Trunks. Finally, Black prepares an energy attack to finish Trunks off, but the young Saiyan used his sword at the last minute to prematurely detonate Black's blast. He then launched a Masenko at Black, blinding the villain long enough to escape. Black attempts to hunt Trunks by sensing his ki and catches the young Saiyan just as he is about to escape in his time machine. He launched a Black Kamehameha, but the time machine activated at the last minute, causing him to miss. Confused, Black attempted to locate Trunks again, only to notice that his ki had completely vanished. After attempting to locate Trunks across the planet, Black's time ring reacted and opened a dark portal to the past. Upon arrival, Black appeared confused as to where he was, but immediately recognized Trunks and Goku. He went on to recognize both Vegeta and Beerus. Trunks attempted to ward Black off, and Black declared his intentions to kill the Saiyan youth, however, Goku intervened and flied up to fight him. Black said that would be an honor, fighting Goku in this body, much to Goku's curiosity. The two began trading blows for a little while before Goku transforming into a Super Saiyan. Likewise, Black rose his ki, and asked the Saiyan to show him more of his power. The fight, however, recommenced as Goku became more serious and Black took a beating. When Black's time ring began to act up, he realized that the distortion in spacetime caused by the time travel is beginning to mend itself. Finally, he was forced back to the future, but not before noticing the time machine and blowing it up. In the future, he marveled at his increase in strength thanks to fighting with Goku and was further elated that Trunks was unable to return to the future, harping that there was no one left to stop him from eradicating humanity. Black later made careful adjustments to his movements and combat stance. Emulating the movements of Goku, Black destroyed a faraway ruin with a single punch, commenting that Goku's style of movement suits his body. Forming a Kakoha, he released it into the ruined city, watching the rubble burn beneath him. Black realized his next step, become even stronger by learning more about Son Goku. After he returned to the future, Black once again laid siege to the Earthlings. Despite this, he cut his assault short after only killing a small number of the remaining Earthlings. While overlooking the destroyed western capital and enjoying the human-free view, Black saw a vibrant flash of ki. He headed towards the source in a funnel of cloud, and was surprised to see Trunks and company. He was then challenged by Vegeta, who transformed into a Super Saiyan Blue, much to his compliment. Vegeta unleashed the full force of his Super Saiyan Blue power on Black. However, the futuristic enemy emerged from the beating unscathed. Impressed, however, by Vegeta's strength, Black resolved to show him something as a reward, and transformed into a new state which he christened Super Saiyan Rose, after Goku and Vegeta's style of naming their form Super Saiyan Blue. He explained to Goku that he had now completely mastered the Saiyan's power, and achieved the pinnacle of beauty as a result, though Goku did not understand. Despite Vegeta's insistence to fight him, Black no longer wanted anything to do with Vegeta, viewing him as only the opening act, and said to the Saiyan Prince that his turn was over. With that, the prince rushed Black, who stabbed him through the chest with a pinky blade, fatally wounding Vegeta, also corrected Vegeta's such a tasty appetizer, and thanked him that he has now grown even stronger. Goku stepped up, transformed into a Super Saiyan Blue, and their second battle began. Despite seeming evenly matched, Black had the advantage, and managed to knock Goku into the ground, forming a Kamehameha to finish him off. However, Zamasu descended from the sky, ordering Black to stop, as Black agreed that Zamasu would be the one to finish off Son Goku. Despite their agreement, Black butted into Goku and Zamasu's battle, attacking from Goku's blind spot. Zamasu argued that Son Goku was supposed to be his prey, and Black told Zamasu that this body wants Goku, and he was unable to repress that strong desire. The two agreed to work together, claiming the kill of Goku for both of them. Tag-teaming Goku, the two forced him into a helpless position. Black pursued a follow-up attack, but is blocked by Trunks. The enraged Saiyan half furiously attacked Black, sending the man into the nearest building. Black emerged furiously from the rubble, and he and Zamasu respectively released two Kakoha towards Goku and Trunks, forcing the two into the air to dodge. Black and Zamasu managed to separate their opponents, and Goku and Black had a brief exchange, with the latter taking Goku by surprise with his use of the teleportation, blasting him into the rubble. When Trunks stabbed Zamasu, Black intercepted by irritably blasting Trunks' sword away, and proceeded to attack him only to be blindsided by Goku. As Trunks and Goku gathered in one place after Trunks' failed attempt to kill Zamasu, Black began to charge a Kamehameha again, and Goku urged Trunks to run. Zamasu, however, kept the duo in place, allowing Black to release his technique uninhibited. With Goku and Trunks critically weakened, Black and Zamasu form a large sphere with which to kill both Saiyans. However, their blast was ruptured when a Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta used his final flash to destroy it before collapsing once more. In the smoke, Trunks and Goku was rescued, leaving Black and Zamasu to dispatch the weakened Vegeta. However, Mai's soldiers released a tear gas grenade, blinding Black and Zamasu and taking Vegeta away. Black tried to sense their ki, but the other human's ki gets in the way. When Trunks' time machine appeared in the sky, Black could do and immediately teleported to them with instantaneous movement. However, they managed to escape, leaving Black angry. Zamasu insisted his partner not worry, as they will come back, and when they do, they will arrive in their utopia. Back at their cabin in the woods, Goku Black and Zamasu discussed their plans. Black was lamenting that he was unable to finish off Son Goku, but Zamasu suggested that Black took his time killing Goku, so he could absorb more of the latter's power. Zamasu berated his partner for not using the Super Dragon Balls to gain immortality like him, but Black, transforming into Super Saiyan Rose, replies that he's happy with his supreme battle power. He stated that his infinitely rising battle power is key to their plan, the Zero Humans plan. Zamasu merely noted on the irony of a human's power being key to the plan to erase all humans. Sometimes alter, at their cabin, while Zamasu was pouring tea, both Black and Zamasu sensed the return of the Saiyans, and went to confront them. Black was pleased that their arrival meant he can become stronger. Vegeta immediately transformed into a Super Saiyan Blue, rushing in to fight Black, who responded by transforming into a Super Saiyan Rose. The two clashed briefly, and Black insinuated that Vegeta wants to defeat him to make up for his failing in their last encounter. Vegeta, however, told Black to be quiet, as his purpose to defeat Black is only for the sake of his son, and the future, which Black commented that's a very un-Saiyan sentiment. Goku told Black and Zamasu that they also acknowledged what Zamasu did with the Super Dragon Balls, used them to grant Zamasu immortality and created a fake of Son Goku. Black claimed that he, however, is not a fake Goku, has the real Goku's own body, but with Zamasu's mind inside, and explained that his wish to the Super Dragon Balls was that he, Zamasu, would switch bodies with Son Goku, shocking everyone. When Goku asks what Black did to the Goku with whom he switched bodies, Black states that he killed that Goku with his own hands, much to Goku's shock. Goku wondered how Zamasu survived as he saw the present Zamasu in the past destroyed by Beerus, but Black explained that thanks to the time ring, nothing that happened in the past could affect him, and later told them his backstory, how he killed Gowasu, inheriting his role as Kaioshin and taking the time ring. The two interrupted their explanation to attack Goku's group. While Goku counterattacked, Zamasu's immortal body immediately recovered from the damage. Black then revealed that in order to bring his idea of justice to fruition he needed someone who shared his ideals, himself, and told them how they teamed up and made the future Zamasu immortal, destroyed the Super Dragon Balls and killed the gods in all universes to become superior in that world. The fight continued, but Goku's group was still outmatched. The future Zamasu cornered Goku, told him what happened to his family, shockingly immobilizing the Scion as Black approached and stabbed him in the chest through his future self's immortal body. That story naturally made Goku furious, and his rage gave him the strength to overwhelm both Zamasu at the same time for a while. However, Black soon counterattacked and defeated Goku with his newly improved version of his Keyblade technique, and noted that due to the Scion body, the newfound challenge gave him a boost up in his power. As Trunks showed disgust with Black's actions, the two Zamasu claimed that Trunks is guilty of a greater sin, changing the past, violating the gods' taboo against time travel as the time ring is proof of his guilt, and that they would cleanse the world of his sin by eliminating him and all Earthlings. The talk, however, enraged the Half-Scion as he admitted the sin and furiously powered up into a strange Super Saiyan form. Trunks' rage has increased his power greatly. Using this power, Trunks is able to hold off Black. However, Black still has the upper hand in the battle. Trunks' advantage is nullified when Zamasu starts working together with Black and they overwhelm him. Black and Zamasu fire a combined Ki Blast, but Trunks is able to destroy the Ki Blast. Vegeta attempts to help only to be knocked down by the two Zamasu. Seeing that the battle isn't in their favor, Trunks launches a barrage of Ki Blasts onto Black and Zamasu in order to hold them off. Trunks asks Vegeta to use the time machine to go back into the past. Mai is given the bag of Senzu and vows to protect Trunks. Bulma, Vegeta and Goku get into the time machine and begin traveling back to the past. Black attempts to destroy the time machine but Trunks blocks him off, which allows the time machine to successfully go back to the past. Black and Zamasu are not concerned with their escape as they will return. The enraged Trunks prepares to fight Black and Zamasu. The battle concluded in Black and Zamasu's favor, but Trunks escaped them yet again. Black and Zamasu return to their hideout, drinking tea. Black is pleased at the idea that Son Goku will return even stronger, believing that, when Goku does, he will defeat him this time and reach an ultimate combat strength. He goes on to state that this will be the last time Goku and company will defile the world of the gods with their time travel. Excited at the prospect of their return, Goku Black misses Mai's presence, and is nearly shot off the table with a special bullet. He immediately recognizes the attack for what it is, so he and Zamasu retaliate with a warning that would have killed Mai and her cohorts had Trunks not intervened. Sensing Trunks, Black jokes that Trunks might be immortal as well. Trunks engages the two in battle, and Black transforms into a Super Saiyan Rose to meet the Saiyan half, Zamasu following him. Black bats away the sword Trunks threw as a decoy, but is hit by a solid combo from Trunks, and sent careening away by a garlic cannon. Black wasn't killed by this, however, and stabs Trunks from behind, stopping the latter's attempt to kill himself and Zamasu. He does, however, compliment Trunks' effort. The time machine returns, carrying Goku, Vegeta and Bulma leading to Black's glee. He and Zamasu go confront Goku and Vegeta, and his first action is to destroy the time machine, making it impossible for Goku and Vegeta to return home. Black notes that Goku and Vegeta are ignoring Zamasu's monologue, but the latter doesn't care, he's talking for the sake of hearing himself. Black finds this very godlike. The groups of two prepare to fight, until Gowasu and Shin arrives to intervene. Gowasu attempts to interrogate Black, and asks him why he would do such a thing. Black firmly believes that with the humans dead, true beauty will return to the universe. He killed the gods due to the fact that they would try to intervene in his plans. Casually, he attempts to kill Gowasu for the third time, with he and Zamasu stating there need only be one god. Goku and Vegeta save Gowasu, however, and the latter implores Black to use the Dragon Balls of the future to resurrect those he's killed. Black simply tells him that he has destroyed the Dragon Balls, which is more than Gowasu wanted to hear. The battle resumes, Black being challenged by Vegeta. In spite of his previous superiority, Black is being overwhelmed by Vegeta's strength, and is impressed by how quickly he's improved, commending the Saiyans for being a warrior race. Zamasu intervenes in an attempt to help, but Vegeta recovers from the sneak attack to resume fighting Black. Despite Black's attempts to land a solid blow, Vegeta retaliates and keeps Black on the defensive. Vegeta outright insults Black for stealing Goku's body, stating that the only one who can use that body correct and its Saiyan cells is Goku. Black cannot comprehend how he's losing, but Vegeta gives him answer, Black is a fake Saiyan, but Vegeta is the Saiyan Prince. Abilities. As the fusion of an incredibly powerful and gifted Shinling with the body of Son Goku, Goku Black was an extraordinarily terrifying enemy. Even without the ability to turn Super Saiyan Blue, Goku Black's power was equal to that of a post-Super Saiyan God Son Goku in Super Saiyan 3 according to future Trunks. After fighting Goku in his Super Saiyan 2 form to a standstill despite being within his base form, Goku Black gained the ability to turn into his own unique Super Saiyan Blue form, Super Saiyan Rose. With this form unlocked, he was easily more powerful than Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta, sometimes being capable of defeating both at the same time. Before his fusion, Goku Black had yet to experience a single loss in combat against the heroes, with only future Trunks in his Super Saiyan Rage form being the closest to incapacitating him. Power. After his first arrival on Earth, Black immediately wiped out about half of humanity and eventually brought Earthlings to near extinction. His power is far greater than that of the Trunks Super Saiyan 2 transformation, whose strength is comparable to Goku's Super Saiyan 3 transformation. Despite this, Black had difficulty keeping up with Goku in his Super Saiyan 2 state. By the time Vegeta and Goku confront him, he could fight on par with Vegeta's Super Saiyan Blue transformation, and in his Super Saiyan Rose, could overwhelm Goku's own transformation. During his rematch with Goku, he was momentarily overwhelmed when the Saiyan got enraged after he bragged about killing his family, but using his ability to recover and get stronger after a beating he effortlessly defeated Goku once more. Trunks also notes that Black's power steadily increased after every battle, a fact that Piccolo confirms upon seeing Black's power rapidly increased while fighting Goku. This, however, is an ability innate to Black's Saiyan body, as his body formerly belonged to Son Goku. Fighting style. Black's fighting style primarily revolved around ambush tactics, hiding in the clouds and attacking his enemies randomly with a vicious and violent attack patterns. He also appeared to be able to control the clouds to some extent, as even when descending from them he is seen to wrap himself in a vortex of clouds and debris. Black, after his battle with Son Goku, claimed to have perfectly adapted the Saiyan style into his body, as it suited him, and thus adjusted his fighting style to incorporate Goku's methods and movement. Key manipulation techniques. By Whis' own admission, Black's ki had an overwhelmingly malicious quality to it, in spite of Black's claims of justice. Black had shown the ability to release basic Kakoha, which take on a green-black tint, as well as use the air dance technique and sense ki, an ability Trunks implies he only recently obtained. Black was still a novice at sensing ki, however, as he required deep focus to locate Trunks, who was located in the building directly beneath him. After obtaining Super Saiyan Rose during his battle with Vegeta and Goku, Black was able to generate an rose-colored aura of ki-formed blade on his hand. This blade allowed him to defeat Vegeta in his Super Saiyan Blue form with one attack. He was also able to use it to deflect several ki bullets from Goku. Black also had access to abilities commonly associated with the original owner of his body, Goku, such as firing in, albeit black, Kamehameha. Additionally, he was capable of using Goku's instantaneous movement technique. Saiyan forms. Super Saiyan. Being in possession of Son Goku's body, Black was capable of transforming into a Super Saiyan. In the manga, the full force of this form is seen, as Black transforms into a Super Saiyan to fight Vegeta. In this form, he notably has plasma in his aura, similar to a Super Saiyan 2. Trunks states that he hadn't seen Black transform in a long time, showcasing that Black had become strong enough and comfortable enough in Goku's body to forego Super Saiyan entirely before meeting Vegeta. While fighting Vegeta, Black seemed equal as a Super Saiyan to Vegeta's own Super Saiyan, before it was revealed that he was truly outmatched, and Vegeta dominated the match entirely. Furthermore, this form proved inferior to Vegeta's Super Saiyan Blue power, and Black needed to be saved by Zamasu. As he possessed the body of the Son Goku of an alternative present timeline, Black had the potential to access his other available forms, Super Saiyan 2nd grade, Super Saiyan 3rd grade, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, and Super Saiyan God. Super Saiyan Rose. After managing to completely control Goku's power and make it his own, Black became capable of taking on a transformation which he dubbed Super Saiyan Rose, due to the pinkish tint it gives to his hair. This form is the equivalent of Super Saiyan. This transformation allowed him to overwhelm Goku's Super Saiyan Blue form, as well as Vegeta's initially. Furthermore, all of his techniques became enhanced by this form's power, and were powerful enough to completely render Goku and Trunks unable to fight. The manga events differ from the anime in that in addition to Super Saiyan, Black was in possession of this unique form, which is his corrupt version of Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan as opposed to being his version of Super Saiyan as such in the anime. The manga explains this form as the equivalent of Super Saiyan Blue, and is what occurs due to Black, who possessed true God status, surpassing the Super Saiyan God. Other skills. Black had implied that, by fighting with other combatants, he can incorporate their powers into his own, such as when he perfectly incorporated the powers of Goku into his being after their fight. This was later displayed when Black displays a combat stance similar to Goku, adjusting his fighting style and movements to incorporate the Saiyan style. Furthermore, Goku Black had the ability to travel in a funneling smoke cloud, and has been seen using this ability more than once. However, Black's most devastating skill was his innate use of the Scion body he possesses. After being beaten in a battle, he was able to instantly recover and gain a massive power boost. This was demonstrated after his first battle with Goku, which allowed him to unlock Super Saiyan Rose, and the second time when Goku was enraged while fighting him, but he was able to recover instantly after the beating and completely beat Goku in return despite rage boosting his power. If you want to support me, check out my Patreon at https://www.patreon.com/Kaioshin. I tend to polls that decide important plot stuff in my P at Trian. Many thanks to my awesome patrons. Ben Phillips.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.